Okay, this is our in-reactor slideshow. About the only pictures we could really find. This was the front door into in-reactor. Actual reactor sat back in here. This is the pipe gallery, steam vents in case of a pipe rupture. You can see they added more security stuff to the plant. This is one of the later pictures. This is looking down on it. Down here would be the fuels area. This is where the new fuel came in to be loaded in the reactor, and the spent fuel sat down in basins about 20 feet of water. After it cooled down, then it was loaded into rail cast cars and shipped off. The reactor sat back here. This would be the pipe gallery. Down here, the pressurizer sat back into here. These are the lines coming off the steam generators. Here's your main steam header. You'd have your valves going to your dump condenser, pressure control to the drive turbine header, and make up steam to the condensate surge tanks. These are the steam lines heading over to the supply system, Hanford generating project. This is the powerhouse. This would be the Foster Wheeler stack. The aerator sat up here. These would be the CE boilers. They sat back here. This is one of the switch buildings. The other one sat back here. All your breakers for the pumps. This would be the in-house power breakers that fed all the B pumps, or the even pumps. Like 2 and 4 would be in-house power from the steam turbine generator. 1 and 3 would come off outside power. These were just chemical tanks for ammonia feeding in. This building also had all the air compressors. This would be 184. That's what's called 105. The reactor 109 was heat dissipation. This is 183, the water treatment. These are the filters with our false bottom. These are actually the coag basins. Here are the filters. We had 6 of them. Water would come in here with alum and then make flock. Then to be taken out the anthrafilt filters, and you'd backwash these. This would be the 162 building. This is where the demineralizer was. This is the intake structure for the pumps. These are the traveling screens. Low lift diesel sat in here. Another one was sitting out here. The raw water pumps, you can see 2 here, and there's another 2 here. These would pump like 105,000 gallons a minute up. It mostly fed dump condensers, but also fed the turbine cooling water to the filter water plant. This was your emergency dump tank. The plant tripped the water to come here and go out to the crib. This tank here is used for when they decon the plant. They'd run a weak phosphoric acid solution through every once in a while. And it would strip off any buildup on the pipes. It'd help drop the radiation exposure to people. In time, different minerals would become irradiated. This was shipped off-site and evaporated, made to the grout, so it was dealt with. See the powerhouses. The aerator sat up here. You can see some of the steam trussel. Now this just shows the fuel. You can see the tube inside of a tube. There's Zirc alloy 2 fuel. These are in the canisters. That's sitting down in the fuel basin, about 20 feet of water. The water is super clean, so you can see. This is one of the fuel assemblies. It has a little feed on it to space it off the process tubes. See the tube in the tube design. Zirconium ring welded on the ends. Zirconium clad fuel. See, there's rupture monitors on every tube. So if you got a hole in the cladding, it would show up on the rupture monitor fairly quickly. Then you'd have to shut down and change out that tube. There's also flow monitors in all the tubes. You have to not high flow, low flow would trip it. So every tube was looked at in case you had a problem with tubes. Here's one of the pictures, and they're building the thing. This is the ventilation stack. This is the fuel storage. This tank here held black oil. These are black oil fired boilers. If you've ever worked around black oil, you'll learn it's pretty messy. A drop will cover about an acre, it seems. These were diesel tanks. These ran the high lift, low lift diesel pumps, also igniters for the boiler. It all come in by truck, the black oil and the diesel. So there's a long supply of diesel for running the emergency diesel pumps. Another picture, it's further away. You can see the line going over. This is the Hanford generation building. Zoom in a little bit. These are where electrical generation took place. 860 megawatts to 430 megawatt units. This is called the 182 building. See the exhaust from the 5 diesels down basement. This was the pump house, had all your pumps, high pressure injection pumps, filtered water, raw water pumps, main pump building. This would be the ERW tank here. It's your demin tank, filtered water, after heat removal tank. This stored the condensate water. This is where your filtered water went to, and this is your demin water that basically fed the reactor. You had to have very, very clean water. It could become, any minerals in the water could become radioactive. Here's part of the demolition picture of it. They already got the steam header stripped off. Everything off the top's been stripped. These are the steam vents, and the pipe gallery down here is all the piping. Steam generator set back here, and you had a primary coolant pump. Each one of these cells had 2 steam generators and a primary coolant pump. Where the piping went through the wall underneath, that was full of water to keep the radiation down. So this is where all the main piping went, water feeding in the reactor, this part of it. You can see the part of the fuel building. This down here would be the reactor face. The biological shield part out here was where the fuel was kept for refueling. This is about like all the plants I've worked at. This is what happened to them. So I just try and documentate this. It's pretty well gone now. This was the front face. The actual reactor tube sat back here. You can see some of the tubes. This is the water actually going in to feed the process tubes. But out here, this is where you kept the fuel. It was just a normal area where they stored the fuel for charging. But the actual process tubes and the caps sat back behind this wall. So they have to shove the tubes through this to the charge head adapter and then push the fuel through. Another picture showing the powerhouse stacks, kind of the front gate going in. This just shows the 182 building, the tanks, the water lines going out. Like I say, if anybody has pictures of any of this stuff, or you want to talk on a video or anything you have on this, please let us know. Like I say, we'll probably make some more videos just to documentate stuff and probably put it on YouTube. But it's mostly for us just trying to record this stuff. Worked there a long time ago. And in a few years, there won't be much known about this plant. Have a good day.